Alright, here is the 1950s Patton 18-inch high velocity fan. This has a 3.2 amp General Electric shaded pull motor. It's one of the single bearing motors. As you can see, there is no bearing on the back of this motor. And what I'm going to do in this video is try to get it to quiet down a little bit. I was running this last night and the bearing was kind of noisy. I know that the blade, like you can probably see it right there, likes to move in and out a lot, and that makes noise. So I'm going to try and solve that problem so that I can keep on using this at night, because it has a nice low speed. I will start it up and let you listen to it. Here's high. It's pretty quiet right now. It's much quieter than it usually is. Balance is good. And that's medium. And there's low. You can probably hear that clanking noise that it's making. Pretty annoying. And it kind of shakes on low, so I'm going to try and fix this problem. There's our amp pro for low. And if you haven't watched my previous videos of this fan, then you'll know that this motor does not have tapped windings. It uses the speed coil in the switch housing to change speeds. Doesn't really need to be oiled, but I'm probably going to anyway. If I can actually find my container of oil, I don't know where it is. So this blade is manufactured by Torrington, and this one has 2 set screws that need to be removed. One right there and one right there. The blade is off. I had to use the puller because it was pretty well stuck on there, but yeah, this cap right here comes off, and there's an oil wick right there. I can pull this cap off, and we can see there are some washers there. Alright, what I'm going to do to try and fix this is press this piece down harder over those washers. And yeah, that washer is cracked, so that'll have to be replaced eventually. I'm going to look around and see if I have a replacement here, but I doubt it. But hopefully pushing this down harder, and then pushing this down as much as I can, keep the shaft from moving in and out, because that's what's causing all the noise. Nothing else. I put some oil in there, and I pounded this cap down extra tight, so now there's a lot less in and out movement. Should be nice and quiet. Give it a test run. Alright, let's test the motor without the blade on it. Seems to be pretty quiet. A little bit of a scraping noise from that collar, but that's nothing you're going to hear when it's running with the blade on it. And there's our unloaded amp draw on high speed. The one problem is that collar likes to start spinning sometimes, and it makes a scraping noise, so I have to figure out a way to get that to quit spinning. Alright, we are all put back together, so let's see how it sounds. Start up on high. Grill is rattling a little bit, but and there's low. I have to do something about that noise. It's really annoying. Well, I definitely didn't plan on this happening. I let it sit down here and run on low for a while just to see how it ran. And I heard a bunch of clanking noises coming from down here when I was upstairs, and it was rattling like crazy. So I turned it up to high, and I turned it back to low, and it started slowing down. This is all we get now. It is seized up. Does not want to spin freely at all. So I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna have to look into this further because that is totally messed up at this point. See, it's wanting to spin a little bit. At the speed it's supposed to be running at. The motor's really hot. It sounds terrible. Yeah, and probably a good thing I came down here when I did, because this motor could have burned up. It is not happy. Not happy at all. It is slowing down as we speak. Not drawing any more current than it's supposed to be. I'm wondering if this oil that I put in there is too thin. This is meant for fan bearings, but it's, you can see it's very thin. So I'm gonna have to get something better. Just gonna shut it off for now and let it cool down. Alright, it's a few hours later. It is spinning freely now, which is weird. But I'm gonna take it apart again and see if I can make some adjustments to get it to stay like that. And I found some really old 3-in-1 oil. So we'll see how this works. There's plenty left in here. I have a newer can of this stuff, but it's not at this house right now. Alright, so without any of those caps on there, this motor runs very smooth and quiet. So, I'm wondering if something needs to be bent back into shape on one of these. Like if this part is pushing in too hard on the shaft, or where the washers are. I just put a whole bunch of 3-in-1 oil on this, or down in the motor, and stuff definitely has a different smell than the new stuff does, but that could also just be because it's old, but who knows. Point is, it's getting lubricated well. I pounded this part out so it wasn't pushing down so hard on that inner collar, and now it seems to be making a lot less noise when it runs. So I'm much happier with that. I'm going to put the blade on and we'll run it again. Alright, it's all put back together. Let's give it a test run. I think that's the best it's ever sounded. Yeah, that's much better. Gonna let it run like that for a while and see what happens, but I think it's gonna be okay. Well, there it is. I ran it all night last night and it did just fine. Didn't make any weird noises. And it spins very freely now, so that's good.